An artisan baker, pastry chef, father and father's rights advocate, our next speaker co-runs Equal Rights for Dads with his partner. They're both now working with Both Parents Matter to deliver the best they can for fathers, having recently introduced a buddy system to help fathers who are feeling lost and alone. Next is Craig Sandiford.
Me too. It's happened to me too. She was a young upcoming children's TV presenter. A TV children's presenter, for God's sake. I was 11 years old. But I remember it like it was yesterday. It happened at the Everyman Theatre in Liverpool. She was in a Christmas production. I was in the audience. Halfway through the production, she left the stage. She went into the audience to stalk her prey. She started to dance up the aisles between the rows. She was wearing typical 80s garish disco clothing. She was searching for a victim. The theatre spotlight followed her every step as she sought out a suitable, vulnerable target. The loud music masked the giggles of the now anxious crowd. She approached the row where I was sat. She was coming my way. I started to sweat. We made eye contact. Oh my God! My cousin leant over and hissed in my ear. She's coming for you. And she was right. She was right. I could feel the spotlight burning the back of my neck, and by now she was stood in front of me. I could feel my pulse racing. The music was deafening, and as I pushed myself back into the seat as far as it could go, she bent down towards me. The loose clothing was falling down. I had nowhere to go. I gripped the arms of the seat to brace myself for what was about to happen. She leant in closer, and when the seat had no more giving it, she leant forward, and it happened in full view of the whole audience, right on the side of my face. Hoots of laughter came from my family as she stood straight up, winked, and danced back towards the aisle to return to the stage. The spotlight followed her away towards the stage, and once again I returned to the darkness, left only with the ringing of laughter from the theatre audience and half a bag of uneaten wine gums. The bright red mark left on the side of my face was clear for all to see. It was over. She moved to America. She forged a successful career with MTV. She appeared in films. She even appeared on the front cover of Playboy. Me, I returned to Church Road County Primary School, and I passed my 11+. The following day, and the days that followed, I told fucking everybody! So how does that fit in with family proceedings? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, I've stopped using the term family court. It's a theatre. It's a perverse organisation of negotiation. A number of actors relying on a compelling performance. Men are faced with the unholy trinity of false accusations: domestic violence, coercive control, substance abuse. Occasionally, there will be extra ones thrown in. An addiction to pornography, adult services, animal cruelty, and if they're being really imaginative, devil worship. When faced with all these allegations, there is no presumption of innocence, no due process, very little critical thinking. Even looking at the balance of probability, mothers and fathers start from different positions. Fathers having to prove their innocence. All on the back of a compelling performance. When Christine Blasey Ford appeared before the Senate committee, there was no evidence. Her behaviour was in contrast to some of the behaviour patterns that we know of victims. There are two clear camps: those that believed that Kavanaugh was guilty, those that believed that he was innocent. But one overwhelming opinion that came through was that something had happened. Something had happened to her based on her compelling performance. Is this normal? Is anybody asking the question, is this normal? My anecdote that I've just started with is true. However, the way I've presented it today is not what I felt at the time. I was elated. I was excited. I was quite proud that I had been singled out amongst that audience to get a smacking big kiss off an older woman that I watch on television. And yet, I can manipulate that to fit the narrative that I want to use to present that anecdote for this audience. And this is what happens in family court. Historical allegations of domestic abuse, going back years and years. One of my favourite lines that I've heard recently is that the accused behaved like a brute. Short sentence, but very, very powerful. So powerful that the judge who was presiding over those proceedings felt it necessary to make it his mission to apportion blame on one of the participants. I've heard it said in the past, family court proceedings, much like the Salem witch trials. Many of the victims, or those who were found guilty, whichever way you want to look at it, that judgment was made on the strength of accusations from children. The judges thought children are innocent. They couldn't make this up. We don't tell lies. Have they never had children of their own? Did they never go to school? Did they not experience a culture of bullying amongst certain individuals? No, that's not true. It does happen. And yet we have a default position where mothers who make accusations must be listened to and believed. Now, going back to the bullying, there is a certain cabal amongst the bullying fraternity that spans generations. They're not particularly violent, but they are manipulative, they are coercive, and they are vicious. They have their own special name, and it's been around for years. It's still around now. And they're known as mean girls. There's no particular group of mean boys, but mean girls. and yet we still listen and believe. So, I have a message for men. My message is this: do not engage. Do not participate in the drama. Do not partake in the soap opera that is unfolding before you. You take on the persona of a grey rock. We've all heard the saying, to get blood out of a stone. That's how we need to behave. When presented with false allegations, deny them. Don't make counter allegations. Don't come back with something else. Well, she did this, she did that. That's a lie. Straight to denial. Focus on the task and nothing else. Treat false allegations with the contempt that they deserve, and ask the question of the behaviour that you're being faced with: is this normal? Over the past 12 months, I've seen men starting to network. They're starting to communicate. They're getting cleverer. They're reading. They're gaining more knowledge. They are becoming composed. We are gaining momentum. We are gaining credibility. We will not stop. We will carry on. And we will never stop. So my final message is this: we're coming to see our kids.